Once upon a time in a kingdom called Seri, there were two salesmen who sold pots, pans, and handmade trinkets. The first salesman is very honest and kind to everyone. The second salesman is very greedy and doing his business cheating people. Because the both of them are in the same city, they decided to split the town between them and do the business. At the same time, they agreed that one of them had finished his area, the other one could try to sell there as well. One day, one of the greedy salesmen was walking down a street when a poor little girl saw him and asked her grandmother to buy her a bracelet. The old grandmother replied, "How can we buy a bracelet? We are poor. We can't afford for bracelet." The little girl suggested, "Since we don't have money, we can offer our black sooty old plate." The grandmother also agreed it, and she invited the salesman to inside. The salesman saw that these people were very poor and innocent, so he didn't want to waste his time. Despite the old woman's pleas, he said he had no bracelet she could afford. Then she asked, "We have an old plate that is useless to us. Can we trade it for a bracelet?" The man took it and, while examining it, scratched the bottom. To his surprise, he saw that beneath the black soot, it was a golden plate. He decided to deceive them to get the plate for next to nothing. He said, "This is not worth even one bracelet. It has no value, I don't want it." He left, planning to return later when they would accept even less for the plate. Meanwhile, the other honest salesman, having finished his part of the town, followed after the first as agreed. He arrived at the same house. Again, the poor little girl begged her grandmother to trade the old plate for a bracelet. The woman saw that this was a kind and gentle merchant and thought, "He's a good man, unlike the rough-talking first salesman." She invited him in and offered to trade the same black sooty old plate for one bracelet. When he examined it, he too saw that it was pure gold under the grime. He said to the old woman, "All my goods and all my money together are not worth as much as this rich golden plate." The woman was shocked at this revelation but now knew that he was an honest man. She said she would be happy to accept whatever he could trade for it. The salesman said, "I'll give you all my pots and pans and trinkets, plus all my money if you let me keep just 8 coins in my balancing scale with its cover to put the golden plate in." They made the trade. He went down to the river and paid the 8 coins to the ferryman to take him across. By then, the greedy salesman had returned, imagining huge profits. When he met the little girl and her grandmother again, he said he has changed his mind and willing to offer a few cents, but not one of his bracelets, for the useless black sooty old plate. The old woman calmly told him of the trade she had just made with the honest salesman, saying, "Sir, you lied to us." The greedy salesman felt no shame for his lies, but he was saddened, thinking, "I've lost the golden plate that must be worth 100,000. He asked the woman, "Which way did he go?" She pointed him in the right direction. He left all his things at her door and ran to the river, thinking, "He robbed me. He robbed me. He won't make a fool out of me." From the riverside, he saw the honest salesman still crossing on the ferry boat. He shouted to the ferryman, "Come back." But the good merchant told him to keep going to the other side, and that's what he did. Seeing he could do nothing, the greedy salesman exploded with rage. He jumped up and down, beating his chest. He became so filled with hatred toward the honest man who had won the golden plate that he made himself cough up blood. He had a heart attack and died on the spot. Lessons learned from the story. Lesson number 1. Honesty pays off. The honest salesman, who chose to be truthful about the value of the plate, ultimately gained more than he could have imagined. Lesson number 2. Greed leads to ruin. The greedy salesman, who tried to deceive the poor family, ended up losing everything and faced a tragic end. Lesson number 3. Value isn't always apparent. The golden plate appeared worthless due to its sooty exterior, illustrating that true value may be hidden beneath the surface. Lesson number 4. Treat people with respect. The honest salesman respected the poor family and treated them fairly, which led to a positive outcome for both parties. Lesson number 5. Generosity and kindness are rewarded. The honest salesman's willingness to give up all his goods for the golden plate shows that generosity can lead to unexpected rewards. Lesson number 6. Deception is short-lived. The greedy salesman's deceitful intentions were quickly uncovered, showing that dishonest actions often backfire. Lesson number 7. Contentment with fair trade. The honest salesman was content with a fair trade, valuing integrity over profit, which ultimately brought him success. Lesson number 8. Understanding true wealth. True wealth isn't just material. It also includes integrity, honesty, and kindness. Lesson number 9. Patience and persistence. The honest salesman's patience and persistence in his trade led him to the opportunity of finding the golden plate. Lesson number 10. Consequences of hatred and envy. The greedy salesman's hatred and envy towards the honest man led to his demise, demonstrating the destructive power of these negative emotions. Thank you for watching for this video, and I think you may add some values to your life from this story. Always try to develop your attitudes, knowledge, and humanity. Then you can become a successful human being. Finally, we can create a beautiful world where everyone can live happily. Thank you, stay safe, and see you soon.